It's squared? Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, when I look up here is what I have is there's a couple things we need to remember about this. I have this term 3pr squared, that everything inside of there, that whole term is squared. Right? What's going to be 10? Well, a couple things for you to remember for Tansy is when you have something squared, remember this equals 3pr squared times 3pr squared. So if you wanted to write that out, you could do that. However, if I want to kind of use some shortcuts, what I would do is I would apply my my rule of exponents. And remember my rule of exponents, when I have exponents raised to an exponent, x to the m raised to the n equals x to the m times n. Okay? The next thing to remember is this exponent, you're squaring, this is going to go to every single term inside that monomial. So what I have is 3 squared p squared times r squared times 2. Because remember, when you have an exponent raised to another exponent, you're now going to multiply them. This is different than the multiplication rule. When you multiply exponents, you're adding the exponent. You're adding them, right? But when you take one to a power, you're going to multiply.
Can you write that down so I can...
What?
What you just said.
Well, all I really was saying, I was just saying that x to the m times x to the n. When you multiply numbers with this with the same base, you add the exponents, right? But when you take an exponent and raise it to another exponent, you multiply. These are the two most common rules people mix up.
Write it like that. You actually multiply the numbers.
Well, no, you're going to multiply the numbers. Look at r squared. Why am I writing a p?
Yeah.
I wonder. R squared equals r2 times 2.
So then you write 4.
Exactly.
I got all right.
Make sense? Okay. The other way you guys could do this. Remember what I told you guys, this just equals 3 pi r squared times 3 pi r squared. So doing that previous problem we worked on, just multiply them. 3 times 3 is 9. P times p is going to be p squared. R squared times r squared equals r to the 4th. Okay, so that's the other way you guys could have done that, but I wanted to work through using that property for your exponents. So whenever you have an exponent outside there, make sure you distribute that exponent to every single term inside the parentheses.